So that's pretty much it for the overview, I would say, for the skills. I'll just briefly look here really quick at some of these other ones. So here we have a really high speed amount, so I think that just means that the guard would happen like almost instantly. Certain hit, so it's going to work every time, it's not going to miss or whatever. Adds the state of guard, and here we can see the damage type is set to none because this isn't an ability that does any damage. It just, guards the player so they take less damage. And then here down in the note section we have skill number 2 will be used when you select the guard command. So just like with the attack, with the attack command, this is always what's going to happen with the attack command in the battle system, and this is always what's going to happen with the guard command. Even if you name it something else or have it do something completely different, it's going to do this second skill here. So, and then here we have a dual attack ability that's in here by default, and you can see the scope is still one enemy, but the repeat is 2 times. So you can only target one enemy with it, but you'll attack them twice with it. And then, in addition to that, there's double attack instead of dual attack, which that could be confusing with the naming, but maybe not. You could also, rename it if you wanted to call it something else, of course. But double attack, the difference there is the repeat is only 1, but the scope is 2 random enemies. So whereas this one would target 1 enemy and attack them twice, this one targets 2 different enemies and attacks them once. So there's, that's the main difference there. And speed set to 0, so I'm guessing it doesn't have any additional speed on top of that. So, and then triple attack, similar as the double attack one, except it's 3 random enemies. So, and you could even do quadruple attack if you wanted to do 4 random enemies, because they let you go all the way up to 4. So, here's the escape command, like it was talking about before, and then you have to set the special effect escape. This is basically if you just want to run from the battle. A lot of games do that, where it's like, well, this battle's too hard for me right now, or maybe I'm struggling to get through this area and I'm just trying to run. This is where you would set that up. You can say flees, whatever. I'm really not sure at all what the point of this wait command is. I don't personally see why anybody would use that over the guard option, which is kind of the same thing. Except the guard option also increases your defense. So, like, wait would basically be, my understanding, like, your character does nothing at all. And if they're going to kind of waste their turn doing nothing, they might as well guard, and they would get at least a defense boost on top of that. But I don't know. Maybe you can think of a good use for it and some reason why you would want to wait and not guard. But that's what this is, the aim of this ability is just to kind of do nothing. So there it is. It's there. It's a way you can do that if you wish to, have your characters be able to do nothing on the battle screen. Then there you go. And then here we're getting into the more specific abilities and spells and things. So here's our heal spell. You can see the icon changed. The damage type is HP recover, so it recovers, and then we've got a different formula for the base value of 200 plus the character's magic attack value. With the variants of this, no critical heals, which that would be kind of interesting to do, but then MP cost, it costs 5. Skill type is magic. Scope is 1 ally, so you can't target enemies with it. Occasion is always, so here's one you could use inside battles and outside of them too, in the menus and stuff. Certain hit type, and then the animation changes here to say heal 1 character number 1, and you can spend your time looking through all those when we get to animations and stuff. No special effects on this one, and it's called casts. And then here we'll just go on with these other ones. This is a fire attack spell ability skill, whatever. We've got a fire icon, scope 1 enemy, and you can see generally how this goes. They gain some GP for using it. It's got a fire animation. It's a hit type. This is magical attack instead of physical attack. All those kinds of things you can specify for your abilities. And then here again we have HP damage. Element is fire in this case instead of that. I don't know if this has an element. No, it didn't have an element. Okay. But you can set that if you want. You can make your healing ones have elements if you wanted. Like you could make it earth element or air element or whatever. Light element. Whatever you want to do. But by default it doesn't. And this one has fire. And then here it's got its own formula for damage and the variants and things like that. And then spark, likewise, just like the fire one, except the element is thunder. Got a new icon, and you can set descriptions. They don't have descriptions by default, but these are the kinds of like heal, fire, spark. Those would be the kinds of ones, probably like double attack and dual attack and stuff too. Those would be the ones you're going to be selecting from a menu anyway, so you'd probably want a description in there, so you could say, oh, this is a, whatever, lightning magic attack that, and the scope is all enemies, so like lightning magic attack that attacks all, or thunder element, whatever. Thunder magic attack that attacks all enemies, or however you want to go about saying that. So that's the difference between fire and spark. Fire is just one enemy, spark is all enemies. And obviously the element. And then thunder all, it's got its own animation, it's also a magic attack, and so on and so forth. So you, again, here, if you want to add your own, you change the maximum, add to it, and then you get a blank slate, or you can start from these and work your way out. So I think that's about all we'll cover for today. Obviously we barely scratched the surface here, but the database is a pretty hefty thing. You can it's a whole big bunch of stuff to learn just all on its own. But thanks for watching for these first parts here, and we'll see you in the next video.